everybody. Good morning. It's Tonetta. I hope everybody's doing well, and welcome to my channel, Tonetta Clay on YouTube. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. Today is what? I think it's Wednesday today, actually, and I'm heading to work in a little bit. But I want to come on with this video because I had some interesting, I guess I can't say combos yesterday, but I was replying to some posts on Instagram actually yesterday. And the reason why I want to bring this up, like I said, is about that post on yesterday. It's a young lady. I don't know who she was. I don't know. I guess that doesn't matter. But the content was that at a certain point, well, I guess about parents and how they interact with their children, as far as trying to um, force their kids to go to college or force their kids to do whatever they wanted, whatever the parent wanted to do and couldn't do, I guess, and couldn't live out, living through their kids, that kind of thing, and trying to tell their kid what to do as far as, like I said, how to live, how to educate themselves, what to work, that kind of thing. And I actually replied to that to that comment on YouTube, I mean on Instagram yesterday, just to let her know that, of course, at a certain point, a child, or well, I can't say a child, but I guess a young adult or an adult, whoever, anybody 10 years old and older, I'm sure, usually know when their parents are, of course, telling them what to do and not letting them, of course, live their life. I guess I put it that way. I know we all know our kids are our youth. I guess it's like I don't have any biological kids, but I'm a social worker, so I work with kids a lot, or I had worked with kids a lot, to put it that way. But I know as far as having kids and those kind of things, and the godchildren that I have, at a certain point you have to let a child, of course, be who they're going to be. I guess I'd say that, as far as how they're going to, I don't know, what, how would they learn? How would they learn? How would they view the world? That kind of thing. Usually about 10, 12 years old. Usually that's when they try to start being like their unique selves and those kind of things. And usually at that age, most kids, you can of course talk to your parents, let your parents know what's going on, as far as you not being able to, of course, be who you are, or not being allowed to be who you are. Yes, I know there's always guidelines. I know as parents and as adults, we have to make sure that there's, of course, discipline in place and that kind of thing as well. Not just allowing people to do anything they want to do and run over your household and that kind of thing. I understand that. I'm not talking about those kind of rules as far as like the regular or bad matter law or bad matter household rules, those kind of things, but just the autonomy. Like I said, this person was talking about, I guess she must have been in her 20s, I think. It sounds like she was probably in her late teens, 20s. And she was talking about how her parents were trying to control where she went to school, and saying that she had to go to college, and saying that she had to work at this specific job, and she wasn't going to be happy doing that. And she was just letting everybody else know, who were young adults, that if you have something that you want to do, you need to go ahead and do it, and that kind of thing, and don't allow your parents to run your life in that kind of way. And just to let you all know, my response to her was that's fine and dandy, but at a certain point, you know when your parents are, are of course, trying to inject their own lives into yours. I guess I put it that way, in that aspect. Wanting you to go to the school that they went to because they went to it or graduated from it, or want you to work at a certain job because they think it'd be good for you, without even asking you what you want to do or what you like or what's going to make you happy. Like I told her in that response, but I don't even know if she even responded to my comment. I'll look at Instagram today and find out. But like I told her, at a certain point, us as people, we know what we want to do, what's going to make us happy, and how we want to live our lives. I guess I put it that way. Yes, there's laws. Yes, there's rules. We all know that we have to abide by, not to get locked up or shunned by everybody. Nobody wants to talk to you, whatever else. But like I said, as far as everything goes, we all have a voice to speak. We all can, of course, speak our voice and tell folks what we want. I guess I put it that way, and making sure that we set those boundaries. And like I said to her, at a certain point, you know when all those kind of things occur. Even if you're 10 years old, if you're 12 years old, if you're 16, if you're 20, 30, whatever age you are, and your parents are still in your life like that, you have to set those boundaries to let your parents know what you are trying to do with your life. Yes, they may not agree. I'm sure that most cases, especially if the parents overbearing and want you to live a life that they want to see instead of actually what you want to do. Like I told her, at some point you have to stand up for yourself and speak those things. Nobody's going to stop doing those things because you get an attitude or you get upset and you want to holler, yell, or you want to just act out, or whatever the case may be. You have to let people know verbally what you're wanting out of your life and what you expect out of your life, and what kind of boundaries you're going to set. If she's 20 something, which it sounds like I said, she's at least in her 20s, it sounded like. If she's, of course, still having those problems with her parents and that kind of thing, she has to reevaluate herself as well. I'm not saying the parents are right. I'm not saying that, but she has to reevaluate herself as well. If you don't tell anybody what you want out of life and what your boundaries are and how they have to respect you, they're going to constantly run over you. We all know that. Well, kids may not know that, but I know us as adults, at least 17, 18, 19, 20 on up. We all know that. If you're not telling folks what you want, or you are telling somebody that you cannot do whatever it is for them, those folks are going to keep expecting those things. They're going to keep expecting that you're going to do whatever they're asking you to do because you never said no and because you never spoke up for yourself. And like I said, that was the comment that I left on her post yesterday. So I just wanted to, of course, bring this to you all this morning just to let you all know, for anybody. I don't care, because I have a group called Speak Your Truth. So I mean, I've been doing this for myself, and I try to help others do that as well within their relationships. But my main thing is, I don't care if it's a couple relationship, if you're married or dating, or if it's your parent relation, I guess a relationship that you have with your parent, you're the child, or if you are the parent and you're trying to talk to your kids, that kind of thing, or if it's your extended family, grandparents, or whoever else. In fact, actually, just your friend group as well, because I know friends sometimes will run over you if you never tell them what you don't like, or what you're trying to do, and set your own boundaries. Anybody will just run over you. I don't care who. I ain't gonna say anybody. As long as that person does not have integrity and does not care about your feelings, then yes, they're going to run over you. They're going to tell you what you need to do, how you need to lead your life, and tell you what they want to see. I guess I put it that way. And like I said, that was my main thing as far as me responding to her, and what I want to let you all know this morning. Because I know there are some young folks that's probably going to watch this. My goddaughter, at some point, she's 10. She's going to see this video because she watches some of my videos as well. And I want to make sure that she knows that as well. As far as 10 years old or not, you know right from wrong, and you know how to express yourself at a certain point. And you have to be the one to, of course, let your parents know, of course, respectfully, that you, of course, you want to do this or you want to do that. I don't know whether it's dancing, school, whatever it is. Of course, if they don't have the money, of course, they can't pay for it. That's a different story. But as far as knowing what you want to do, I guess as far as wanting to, I don't know, go outside and play, or those kind of things, which with parameters, if you're young, of course. But for those 16 and older, of course, different things that you want to do with your life, or by that time you know what's going to make you happy. By that time you know if you actually want to go to college or not, if your parents are going to force you to go to college, or you know if you want to, of course, be a dancer or artist or that kind of thing. Most times, because I've been guilty of this as well, just living your life for other folks and not knowing how to say no. You don't want to do this and that. I had to learn that with my in-laws, y'all, just to let you all know. Of course, I was married back in my 20s, and I was the one who wanted to please everybody, who didn't want to say no to people, or I'll take you to the store with this time and that time, knowing good and well I had stuff to clean up at home. I had stuff to do on my own that I was trying to do right, go to work, do all these things. But no, I'm, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that, and running ragged every time I got off work, just running here, running there, doing all these things instead of doing things for myself. And I was in my 20s. So I know there's older people that's in their 30s and their 40s, I'm sure as well, in their 50s as well, still having other folks lead their lives, including an employer. Because I was just talking to my friend's daughter about jobs this morning, which is not about jobs, but of course that's a relationship as well. But of course some jobs, of course, will run your life, I guess, if you let them. Like I said, at some point you have to learn how to advocate for yourself. You have to learn how to stand up for yourself respectfully, and not just acting out, hollering, yelling, and getting attitudes, because nobody's going to listen to you like that. I know that because I used to have a bad temper and go off on folks and holler and yell at folks sometimes, a lot of times back when I was younger, and that kind of thing, because I did not know how to express myself and how to tell people what I didn't want to do. I was, of course, doing all this stuff for everybody else, and I was upsetting myself in the inside because I'm not living my life the way I wanted to. I'm living everybody else's life and what they wanted me to do. Like I said, that was a lesson that I had to learn. I was in my 20s. I didn't stop that till I was maybe like in my late 20s. Let me see. Lord, no, I didn't. Actually, that was in my 30s, actually, as I think about it. It was like in my early to mid 30s. Well, early 30s, I think. By the time I, of course, fully was able to, of course, stand up to people, let them know I did not want to do this. I did not want to do that for them because I had to do my own thing. Like I said, I was missing out on what I had to do at home, what I was trying to create at home. Had baking orders, different things. I was putting those on hold sometime because so-and-so needed to go to the store, or I didn't know how to tell them that I couldn't do it. Ask somebody else. Like I said, I had to get to a point where I had to stand up for myself and know that I had to, of course, let them know that I'm not going to continue to let you run my life. I had to run my own life. And like I said, as I realized, I was in my early 30s as I think about that. Because that's when I fully stood up to, of course, the people that I was, of course, having the, well, I can't say issue because I created that because I let them run all over me and do all these things. And, oh, yeah, you should do this. And why don't you come do this? Without me saying, no, I cannot do anything. Myself is first. I did not do that. Like I said, that was my fault. And like I said, I'm just telling you all, you can't, I mean, we can blame everybody else around us all you want. But if you're not the one that's setting these boundaries for your life, then yes, you're going to constantly have these problems, and it's not their fault at a certain extent. Yes, as kids, I understand that you have to live up under your parents' house. You have to abide by whatever kind of rules they have, curfew and doing your chores and cleaning up your room or whatever it is. Of course, I don't know, coming to eat dinner at 5 o'clock every day, whatever it is. Not jumping in the house and not making too much noise because of the neighbors. And all kids have to go through that. I know that. But at a certain point, you realize that, like I said, 16, 17, 18 years old, that you can, of course, at some point, well, actually, when you're young, you can, of course, set your parents aside and just let them know you don't like how they talk to you or you don't like this or that, and just have like a civil conversation. Not getting upset with your parents, hollering, yelling, acting out, all forget you, or just shutting down and ignoring people. You have to, of course, talk and say what you want. I guess I put it that way. Like I said, nobody's going to know what you want or what you don't want if you never say anything. If you keep getting the attitude or you think you're grown and you're 10, 12, 15 years old, you think you're grown and you want to, oh, I don't care about this, or you want to talk back and those kind of things. Like I said, those are your parents and those are the people that's raising you until you can make money on your own and raise yourself. I put it that way. Then that's when you become an adult. You can make money on your own, raise yourself, and pay your own bills and get out their household. Then you can do whatever it is you want to do. Of course, you have society's rules and the laws you have to follow and that kind of thing. And actually, why I'm talking about that, because I know when my goddaughter, she's 10, I know we've had this issue, we've had this talk before too as well. Actually, throughout the years, I talked to her a lot about stuff like this and trying to let her know that, of course, yes, she is her own person, and yes, she can make her own decisions and that kind of thing, and she does not have to live the life her parents are leading. I guess I put it that way, especially if it's a life that she doesn't like, or she see there's a lack of trust there, or her parents weren't telling her the truth, or she don't feel that. I guess well, she don't feel that they're telling her the truth or things that she like. I guess I put it that way. And like I told her, I know there are certain rules and regulations that you have to follow within your household with your parents, and of course when you get out in society. But like I always tell her, you're not grown. You can try to be in adults' conversations, or you can try to sit around and figure out what's going on, that kind of thing. No adult's going to tell you every single thing that's going on in their life. I can tell you that. Until you become an adult, you'll probably understand that. But as a kid, of course, we cannot bring you into every single conversation that adults have and that kind of thing. Some things are not for kids to know. I guess I'd say that at a certain point. Most kids will not even understand, and it takes too much to even explain things. Yes, I do believe in, of course, telling kids or telling our youth certain things. I guess I put it that way. Certain basics, certain different, I guess, different. I don't know if it's a societal values or whether it's dealing with trust or respect or those kind of things. Yes, they all need to know that. But sometimes us adults don't even know what we're doing. I guess I put it that way. And I'm 43 years old, and I can tell you that some days I have no idea what I'm doing, what's going on, so we can't expect our kids to have the same. But like I said, getting back to my goddaughter, I had to let her know that once you're, of course, grown, once you're on your own, once you're paying your own bills, that's when you officially start making your own decisions. If you're living up under your parents and they're constantly paying your bill, your cell phone bill, or taking care of you, paying the rent, you're not paying anything in that household, you have to abide by whatever the hell their rules are. I put it that way. Whatever their rules are in that household, unless they're trying to kill you or hurt you some kind of way. Other than that, of course, ask for help. But other than that, you have to abide by those rules in that household. And like I said, I know she just turned 10 actually a few months ago, and it's hard for her at times to understand because she wants to get upset and holler and yell and that kind of thing of her parents. But of course, you have to know how to talk to people. Is what I tell her. You can't just fly off the which you can, but nobody's going to listen to you. I used to fly off the handle, be upset all the time, and best believe the relationships that I was in, whether it was partners or friends or family, whoever it was, yeah, they'll listen right then, but they can really care what I'm saying, care less what I'm saying, because I'm just hollering and yelling and acting a fool basically. It's nothing's really getting done. So you have to know how to. I know for kids they have to learn those things. Our young adults they have to learn those things. They have to learn how to, of course, approach somebody and let them know in private or pull them aside, let them know that they don't like how they make them feel. Because, of course, nobody likes the way you make them feel. I can tell you that I don't care if you're 2 years old or 5 years old or 20 years old or 30 years old. There's always going to be somebody in your life that's going to do something um, do some kind of act or whichever the case may be that's going to cause you to feel a certain way, and you have to know how to deal with those feelings. The same thing I tell her. Of course, she can get upset, she can howl and yell and do all these things, but when all is said and done, she's still up under her parents. She's still only 10 years old. She's still a child, and she's not paying her own bills in order to live on her own. And like I said, that's the thing that I see with a lot of, I guess, our youth and our kids and our parents, I guess, with that kind of dynamic. Of course, you have to let your kids know that. Sometimes they don't understand that. When they're not the ones who are making the choices within the household, you're the one paying the bills, you're the one paying the utilities, you're the one paying the rent and putting the food on the table and making the food or whatever's going on and giving them a mostly decent environment to, of course, stay in. You have to, of course, lay down those rules and let them know you're the parent. Of course, they cannot run over you in the household. You have to voice those things. And yes, it may take a few times, I'm sure several times, for kids to understand that. But at a certain point, you all get in that kind of schedule, you all get in that routine, and they'll know that. But you also have to voice to them that once they get older, of course, whatever age they're planning on moving out, I don't know, they get a job, paying their own bills, they want their own apartment, that kind of thing. That's when they officially become an adult to make their own rules. Like I said, it may not be the rules that us parents want to see or us adults want to see in their life, but that's their life and they have to lead that. And I want to say one more thing before I go off on here. I mean, get off of here, because I know I'm trying to see. I had a who was that? I can't think of who it was I was talking to yesterday as well. It wasn't the Instagram post. It was something else that I commented on. Shoot. Well, I'll just tell you what it was. I guess the gist of what it was. It was talking about trust and honesty within relationships, and that was one thing I want to bring to my page today. So I'm going to share this with my group on Facebook, Speak Your Truth Community, as well. And actually, if you all are not a part of that community, make sure that you're going to, of course, join. It is on Facebook, and I'll put that link in the description of this video. But it's called Speak Your Truth Community, and that's mostly dealing with relationships and it's couples and committed relationships. But I do at times talk about things like that I share with that group as well. And of course, I speak my truth and my experiences and my stories and my lessons, excuse me, and everything that I'm, of course, talking about and that kind of thing are somebody else's lesson as well that I've seen or learned or been a part of. I share all those things. I'm very open and transparent. I believe in honesty, and I believe in, of course, trust as well. Making sure that you all know that I have trust in you and you can all have trust in me as well. But well, whenever you get to that point with the things that I've shared, like I said, I'm one that's very honest and don't usually lie about anything. And actually, I haven't lied about anything, but usually that's not the kind of person that I am. And getting back to what I'm saying, like I said, there was a post or something that I had a conversation with somebody on yesterday about trust and honesty. I just want to remind you all, I know my goddaughter, like I said, I know she'll see this at some point because she always comments and listen to most of my videos. And she's 10 again. But like I said, I know she'll see this, and I know me and her has had this conversation as well. But about trust and honesty. Like I tell her, I've been telling her since she's young. She usually does. Lately, she hasn't been having a problem with, of course, not being truthful. She does at times. Most kids sometimes seems to still think they can get away with those kind of things. But like I said, most adults and us grown folks, we always know when they're lying or that kind of thing. But the same thing I tell her, you don't want to live a life where, but I put it this way, everything that you're doing once you're starting school, I put it that way. I don't care if you're in first grade, second grade, third grade, 10th grade, 12th grade, college, or whatever. Everything that you're doing at whatever age that you are, you're creating a life that others are going to see. And like I tell her, you're creating a life if you're going to be one that's dishonest, if you're going to be one that's, of course, stealing things, or if you're going to be the one who's not telling the truth and trying to get over and play the system at whatever age you are, that's what folks are going to look at you always being a person that they cannot trust and a person that they cannot have honor in. I guess I put it that way, or respect actually. And like I've been telling her, I'm going to keep telling her the same thing, that you don't want to get my age, 43, or actually I know folks older than me, 50s and 60 years old, who still cannot seem to tell the truth. Like I tell her, you tell one lie. I know it's a cliche. You tell one lie, you tell another, and that's always the truth. Like I said, I tell her that all the time. When she has come back about stuff that happened at school or stuff that's happened somewhere else, but she doesn't want to tell the whole truth. My thing, and that's the reason why I always speak my truth. I don't care what it is, what's going on. I'm always honest with everybody. They may not want to hear it right then. I guess I put it that way, but that's okay. I'm still going to speak my truth. I'm still going to be honest. I've always been that person to do that. Like I said, I've always known since I was young that the life that you lead, I don't care if you're 6, 7 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, 15, 20, 30, whatever years old, the life that you're creating, people will never forget that. Like I said before, people will never forget how you made them feel. If you're the kind of person who, of course, wants to, and people usually pick up right away if you're lying or telling the truth, anything anyway. Most people do. They may not say anything, and that's, I'll get to that in a few. But like I said, whatever kind of life you're leading, whether you're a person that's dishonest, or you're a person that people constantly have to, what are you doing? What's going? Well, I guess with my goddaughter, what are you doing in there? What's going on? Person that you, well, actually, she has a, well, another little friend that I usually, well, I can't trust. I guess I put it that way. She's a lot younger, and that's the reason why she don't come to my house much. Because of course, you're asking people things, you're trying to figure out what's going on, and oh, she's not doing anything, or she doesn't. Which I know she's young, but she has to. Her parent has to, of course, teach her that. As far as being 6, 7, I think 7, 8 years old, something like that. That the life that you're leading, if you're leading a life of distrust, people will never forget that. People will always remember you as the person who lies all the time. People will always remember you that they cannot trust you because you steal. My main thing is if you lie, you're going to steal at some point. I'm sure that that's always the case. And like I said, for me, I don't trust people like that. I don't like to be around people like that. And I tell my goddaughter that all the time, and she understands that. And we of course, like I said, we have these honest conversations. I don't talk to her like she's an adult or curse, that kind of thing. It's actually a few times I did have to curse just to get a point across, but like I said, I always talk to her, not just everything blatantly. Well, actually, some of the stuff is a lot blatantly, I guess, put it that way. But in my mind, I have to look at her as being an adult. At some point, she's going to be an adult, and she's going to have to know these things. Because, like I tell her, if you get out in society, and you're of course still lying, you're trying to steal stuff, and people can't even trust you, how do you think you're going to even get a damn job? Nobody, all jobs ask for references. If you want to start a business, some of those things you have to have people review your business. You have to have folks tell how your business is and how you are as a person. If nobody can trust you and everybody think you're dishonest and you're a liar, you're not going to have any kind of business. You're not going to have any employment, for one, if nobody can give you a reference unless you just make them up and do them yourself. I guess we all know folks do that. And like I said, you have to realize that the life that you lead, same thing I tell her, that's the life that people are going to see you always leading. So if you're always leading a life of, which I know people that's in their 50s and 60s, still lying to this day, still trying to make up stories and still gossiping to this day, I don't be around them at all because I hate people like that. I know we're not supposed to say hate and but you don't hate, but yes, I'm one that will tell you I hate folks like that who cannot tell me the truth, and I know that they're lying. Like I said, I know folks that's way older than me that still do that. Yes, I mean, some of them are family, some are friends, and I just talk to them and just keep it simple. I guess I put it that way, and keep it moving. Like I said, I'm not going to waste my time with folks like that, and I know a lot of folks in this world are not going to, and that's what I wanted to get to. I know a lot of people, because this is what's, I guess, piggyback off what I was saying earlier. We are around, especially us as being adults, we are around, I know I got to leave soon too, so I'm going to finish with this, but we are around a lot of people who we know that do not tell the truth a lot, and who are dishonest, and who try to get over on the system and stuff like that. I'm a social worker, so I see a lot of folks being dishonest and lying, trying to play the system, trying to get extra food stamps, or trying to get Section 8 housing, and all this kind of stuff. Like I said, people know well, people always know when you're lying and when you're not telling the truth and when you're being dishonest. And I haven't told my guy, well, I did tell her this part too. But just to let you know, I mean, at some point you have to call people out on their shit, call people out on whatever you're seeing that they're doing. We as adults, of course, should be doing this to not, well, if you feel comfortable talking to the person. Sometimes if you don't feel comfortable, you still have to let them know what you see them doing. I guess I put it that way. We all know that as you go through life, like I just said, you're building a life of distrust. You're building a life that you're a liar. You're building a life that you can't be trusted. And like I said, at some point, we as adults have to bring that stuff up and talk to the folks who we know who are doing these things. If not, they're going to keep doing them and keep doing them and keep doing them. And then we as adults, because I've been guilty of this as well, say, I don't know why she's still doing this. I don't know why he's still doing that. He's 40 and 50, 60 years old, but he's still lying. He still can't get himself together, this kind of thing, when we haven't even called him out on these things. We, of course, sit up here and watch all this stuff happen, but we don't say anything. And like I said, I had to start doing that. And I've been doing that more and more and more. I guess I put it, though, I had to train myself to do that. Because I know I hate to see folks fail. I really do. And I know that when growing up and that kind of thing, seeing folks that were constantly trying to play the system, constantly lying, trying to get what they want, and trying to keep up all these lies and gossip and all these things, and folks know this around them, But folks have not said anything, and those people are still damn stuck in the same places, have no life, have nothing going on in their life, still trying to play the system at 50, 60 years old, can't get any work, can't get a job, can't do anything because they've created this life for themselves. That's just a bunch of BS. That's made up on lies, and they can't even get things done, I guess, as they, which I know that's a life that they created. But like I said, us being around them, knowing that knowing that they're doing these things, we have the responsibility to, of course, call these folks out on those things as well. Not just them just going through life and we're just, oh, they're going to change at some point. Some folks do not know how to change. Some folks do not know that that's an issue. Like I said, I had to start calling out people that I knew, family, friends as well, that were doing the same thing, and I'm going to continue doing that. Like I said, that's something that bothers me. I know that's something that I see being an adult, working in the workplace and dealing with folks, clients, and that kind of thing, that people are still doing this because nobody has told them that it was wrong otherwise. Nobody has showed them that, of course, I see what you're doing. In order for you to have a better life, you have to stop doing so and so. Sometimes somebody has to tell you that. Like I said, it's not always. Of course, I know I've been guilty of saying they'll learn at some point. They'll learn at some point. But at some point, you have to be you have to turn yourself into that person who's going to be some point. You have to turn yourself into that person who's going to bring those things out and call them out on everything that you see. Don't do it in public. Do it in private, of course. Make sure you have some kind of respect for the person and humility for the person. But just make sure that you're sitting down. I don't care if they're 5 years old, 10 years old, 20, whatever age they are. If they're doing these things, you have to speak to those people about those things. We know that as adults that that's the life that they're creating. And once they keep creating that life, going through our life, all the relationships that they have, people are not going to trust them because they see it right away within seconds. Because I know people like that. Like I said, adults as well. And they're in creating that kind of life, they're not going to have any kind of life. Usually when I've seen, being a social worker for the last 20 years, 21 years, or 20 years plus, the folks that I've seen who usually play, like I said, play the system, do all those things, and they cannot properly get jobs. They cannot properly find folks that, of course, want to be in relationships with them because they're constantly lying and all these things going on. They're constantly creating these issues for themselves. Like I said, at some point you have to call folks out on that, to plant those seeds within them, to let them know that you see them. Most folks just want to be seen, I guess I put it that way. And they want the attention, I guess, whatever kind of attention is given them. Yes, it's negative attention, but they want that. But like I said, that's one thing that we have to do, hold them accountable for their own actions. They have to be responsible for that at some point. Like I said, yeah, they can go through our life and we just sit there and watch them fail. I don't want to keep seeing folks fail. I see that I've been seeing that since I was a kid. I hate seeing folks fail, including myself. Like I said, those are some things that I want to say this morning to you all. And I know I got to get to work because I'm going to be late for work this morning. But I just want to remind you all to, of course, make sure that you're subscribing to my channel, Tonetta Clay, of course. It's the same name everywhere. But make sure that you're subscribing, of course, clicking that notification bell to receive all of my videos whenever I do go live. Because I'm posting videos a few times a week now. So just make sure that you're doing that. But for those, like I said again, who haven't subscribed, definitely go ahead and do so. But I want to say again, just remind you all to make sure that you're letting people know that the life that they're creating is the life that people always want to see them as. And at some point, somebody has to call them out on whatever they're doing, making that person responsible to, of course, be their own leader. I guess I put it that way. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Like I said, thank you again. And for those who catch the replay, definitely do enjoy. Take care, y'all. And like I said, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and click that notification bell so that you can get all my videos and my content, everything that I do every week. So, all right, y'all. Take care. Bye-bye.